Well, hello, my YouTube friends. I cannot express you how happy I am to make that review of that magnificent knife from my friends Sam Lurquin and David Lespect. Or at least I will try to tell you why I am so happy and honored to own that piece of cutlery. So for those of you who know me and who are collecting and following me on Instagram or YouTube, most of you, I would say, wouldn't have the slightest clue of who those guys are. And for the rest, of course, you know what I'm talking about. But I will try to be as entertaining and I don't know, it was going to sound pompous to say educational, I don't know, about those makers and this knife. So I will try my best. But a couple of words about this knife. This was a score that I did during Blade 2018. So you see, it's been 6 months already that I acquired that knife. And for some odd reason, I didn't do the review of it when I went back from Blade. I think I wanted to use it because that's a user. I wanted to keep it with me and make a kind of long-term, not long-term, but at least a mid-term overview of the knife. And you know how I am. Along the road, I forgot to do it. And something horrible happened. I was driving my motorcycle. And when I went back home, I don't know, some hours later, I was searching for the knife and boom, didn't find it in the pocket. So I assumed that I lost it because the clip has been done, and I will talk about that after the knife. The knife was presented and sold without the clip. And David usually doesn't do knives with clips. So I figured that the clip was not really, that it was not really efficient. And maybe it has been lost while I was driving and it fell from the pocket. At least that's what I thought until a couple of days ago, where I found it in the most uncanny place. So I cannot, I cannot tell you. I was so happy with that knife. I cannot tell you how happy I was when I recovered it. And I think I lost it for at least 2 months now. 2 months. So it was 2 months without having this knife. So believe me, I am one of the luckiest, and it happened just like in the holiday season like that. So for me, that's my best Christmas gift to have that knife back in my collection. So what do we have here? This knife, as I said, is a collaboration between two guys that you may not know. So I will start with David Lespect and go to Sam Lurquin. So David Lespect is the guy who does the folder. Maybe a year ago, none of you would know about David, but now he has made his first blade and he was so successful there that he's gonna do the gathering next year. And a lot of you guys know David now. He makes such great knives, and he evolved dramatically the past 2 years. I really appreciate David. He's a down-to-earth guy. He's, he does folders, but he's a rough guy that likes to make like EDC with kind of all kinds of material that he would find and make them really rugged knives. That's what he did first. Now he evolved more because of the demand and people asking him like crazy dressy knives. He evolved. He started making knives with mokutai and stuff like everyone, But this is truly who he is. By all means. I mean, this is a guy that will work with, first he will have the material and it will speak to his soul, and then he will want to make a knife with material that he has that is all kinds of material, starting, let's start just with that, the bolsters. As you can see, the bolsters, they look really special. This is a kind of metal you've never seen before. And this is recuperation. This is something that he found in his garden that was fossilized there for years, decades, maybe a century, I don't know. And actually it is a metal from that comes from shutters, ancient shutters, from the hinge of the shutters. And he found that those hinges in his garden, playground, I don't know where it was, and he thought of using them in a knife. So that's why he used them to make those bolsters, and that is just incredible. Just for that, the knife is worthy to me. That's just insane. You will never see anything like that. So yeah, just adore it. His mechanics are impeccable. We're going to review that. And look at that. I mean, also this is ironwood, but look at the finish of this ironwood, sorry. He sanded it. And you have those, you know, those even dots here. The overall ensemble looks like really something rugged, something like a vintage, almost a vintage knife, whereas it has been done like this year, but with those material that looks absolutely phenomenal. I mean, and I absolutely adore this sandblast finish that he made on this ironwood because it provides a grip. Try to hear that. You see, so it even for the function, it provides a very, very nice grip. So that's just phenomenal. And you have this really nice looking ironwood. Even with the sand, the sandblast, you can appreciate the pattern of the ironwood. That is just fantastic, fantastic. Even the hardware looks like wicked. Look at that. Where have you seen a hardware like that? I mean, for all intents and purposes, I absolutely adore the hidden hardware. But on this one, I'm calling for the more, the better. Look at that. I mean, they're part of the design and of the ruggedness of this knife. And they look fantastic. From the pivot to the screws, I absolutely adore the finish of those screws. Absolutely love it. Now, a word about Sam Lurquin, because we spoke about David. Now we need to speak about Sam. It's already 7 minutes. I need to go on. Sam Lurquin is a great maker. For those of you who don't know him, boom, this is what he does. So Sam Lurquin does fixed blade, wicked fixed blade. Most of the time he's doing that for a tactical team all over the world. I think he works for several tactical teams in Brazil, in UK, in the US, all over the world. And he makes knives that are designed for tactical team. That's also to kill your peers. And then also he does those kind of knives in between. Look at this wicked knife. Absolutely fantastic. The guy is just a phenomenal maker. He's got such a great eye for design. Also making knives more like artsy knives. For those of you who don't know him, he's one of the best fixed guy that you can find, and the range that he does is just phenomenal, going from, like I said, very useful knife, tactical knife for actual tactical teams to artsy fixed blade. Absolutely phenomenal guy, but he doesn't fold his knives. He does only fixed blade. So imagine how happy I was to have the opportunity, because they made a very short batch of those knives. So the design of the blade is his. The blade is Sam Lurquin, and like I said, the folding part is done by David. And the overall ensemble is very balanced, because the design of the handle is David for sure. This is the design of his usual folders, and the blade is 100% Sam. And look at that. It fits so well all together. It looks like, you know, it's really nicely done. And the funny thing is that they did this very small batch of knives, but they were all totally different. When I'm talking, not only talking different in design, in material, but also in design. You had like a smaller one like that, and the blade was totally different. I mean, every single one of them was different. This one was by far my favorite. length-wise, design-wise, material-wise, it was my favorite by far, and I believe it was the favorite of all of the guys, despite the fact that it didn't have any clip. But look at that. After getting it, I asked for David to kindly make a clip for me, and look at what it did. With the shape of this clip is just insane. It looks almost like the shape of the knife. It blends so well with the knife, and he managed to get a finish on the titanium that looks almost like the blade that is in D2 here. This is titanium. Look at that. They look almost alike, and it matches so well with the knife. It doesn't look like it's done after, but it's not a sought after. I mean, if I haven't told you, it would be like you wouldn't imagine that it was done after that. So now with the clip, it makes it for the best by far of the batch. The design of this blade is just phenomenal, and this finish, this is what I wanted to have. I had the opportunity to get one dressy with kind of rhino and like hand rub blade, which is what I like the most. I would go for a hand rub. You know me. I go for hand rub and mirror polish blade, like it's not questionable. I mean, I hate, most of the time, I would hate people who would go for stonewash. Not people, but I would hate to go for stonewash. To me, it's like there is not the touch of the maker. When you have the hand rub, you know that he used his thumb to get this finish, even with the mirror. Sandblast, woo, you just put it in the washer like that with the stone, and you don't work on it, and so it's kind of lazy for me to have this this stone wash finish. But on this one, for this knife, for to get the essence of the makers, this is what I wanted. It's exactly like this one. I don't want a dressy knife from Sam. I want a wicked knife with those, you know, stains here all over. It looks like almost like blood have spilled all over the place here. This is what I want, something wicked, because it is the soul of those makers. When you buy a knife from a maker, you don't buy what you want, you buy what they are. There is art in it, so that's one of the features that I like, and one of the topics that I like to discuss about. It's the art part in the knife world. So when the maker has a soul, and it's not that he has a soul, he has a way of seeing things. You want to get something that looks like him or them, because in that for that matter, you have Sam and David, and both of them are rugged guys. If you know them, they're down to earth, very, very simple guys, not dressy at all. So this is really looking like them. So everything I like about this knife. I haven't mentioned the mechanics, but look at this engagement here. It's perfect. It's rocks. Look at those tolerances. You cannot place even a piece of paper between the blade and the scale. All the junctions are absolutely seamless. Look at this contouring that you have all over the place here. I mean, check the thickness here. Check how it's thinned here. Contoured like absolutely perfectly. Absolutely adore this backspacer in D2 with that very nice stone wash finish also that is also like very vintage and wicked looking on the backspacer. Absolutely flawless, like I said, no gap whatsoever between the ironwood, the liners, the backspacer, the other liner, the ironwood. It's just flush here. Here it's not very flush because you have the difference of material, but here it's absolutely fantastic. Effortless to disengage. Check that. I mean, check the centering. Perfect. The detent is perfect. Like I said, the tolerances are absolutely phenomenal. Love the action on this one. This is a lateral flipper or front flipper for those of you who like it. Most of the time, the front flipper would be here. The lateral is here. You know, front, boom, it's on the front here. Here, it's lateral. So it's very versatile. Most of the time, the lateral flipper, you can use it only with the thumb, but with this one, you can play, at least for me, with the index. It fires like a rocket. It's very easy to deploy. Like I said, effortless to disengage, exceptional detent. Overall, a fantastic knife. We are heading to the 15 minutes. I hate to stop that video. The grind is phenomenal. I absolutely love the swedge, this recurve here, this curve that you have here. Absolutely love this knife all over here. And the functionality is great. The ergos are fantastic. You have the index here, all the other fingers here. It's curved here. It goes well with the palm. There's no hotspot with the clip. It's absolutely fantastic. Look at this watch with this beautiful, I don't know what I'm saying. I have to stop it here. The Dora rung, and I will catch you very soon for another video. Bye-bye. It was a pleasure.